missed the past 2 Fridays posting vlogs, and yeah, big story, you guys, big story. So I've been in the hospital. I was actually hospitalized for like 4 or 5 days, and it was like really sudden. Like I was fine that day. Oh my god, I feel like I've told this story like 100 times. So it was like a nurse would come in and then ask me what happened, and then a doctor would come in and ask me what happened. The cardiologist would come in, ask me what happened, and then of course, you know, nurses have different shifts, so like I had to tell all the nurses what had happened. And at this point, you know, I just wanted to like shorten the story a little bit.
It'd be like, oh, passed out 3 times, now I'm here, nice to meet you, I'm Danny, what's up?
It's been stressful. And on top of it being stressful, they have changed all of my medication. Like all of it. I'm on like one medication still that is like normal. They have me on 3 different steroids, and they put me on this like new thing, and it's called midodrine, and they started me out on like a 2.5, and now they've got me on like 10 milligrams 3 times a day, but my blood pressure is still dropping when I sleep. So we don't know why. Me and my cardiologist are talking about putting in a loop recorder in my heart, which I hope we don't have to do. And the next step with like everything is like IV antibiotics.
Oh my god.
Speaking of IV, I can't get comfortable with you guys. This midodrine has me like, whew, it gives me chills, it makes my like hair stand up, and it's really weird. So if I'm like super jittery during this vlog, that is why.
I feel like I'm on cocaine, don't do drugs.
So I was at the hospital, and what happened is I was at home with friends, and I passed out, and when I came to, like I couldn't see anything, like everything was like black, like it was like this was my life. For like a solid like 5 or 10 minutes, this is like all I saw. Like I could hear everything around me, but I couldn't see anything. I probably would have vlogged more at the hospital, but it was like one of those things where like I was like really sick. Like my blood pressure was dropping to like 70s over 40s at nighttime, and then during the day it was only like high 80s over 50s, which is really bad if you don't know blood pressure. And nothing was helping, like nothing was getting it up. They thought that it was maybe dehydration, like maybe I wasn't absorbing water or something, that I was drinking, like some gastro issue, but that turned out not to be the case. Like I was really hydrated. They even put me on an IV for 2 days just to make sure that I was really hydrated, and that wasn't the cause of the blood pressure dropping, but it still was. The spacer that they ended up putting in between my port actually got infected. So I have like this really weird rash. I did record them removing the IV and stuff from my port, which is pretty cool. I didn't record them putting it in, or like I said, really anything else that week at the hospital. I don't know if y'all have any experience with being in the hospital, but they give you 3 meals a day, you know, and they're not very big meals, and you don't have like snacks and like access to like everything that you would at home. You're not in your bed, and no matter how freaking cold the room is, my back and my butt, I don't know why I talk about butts a lot on this channel, but for some reason I feel like I mentioned butts in another vlog. Past 2 vlogs have been about butts, and I'm still talking about butts. Yeah. So back on point. I wanted to go home really bad, and I had like a little bit of a meltdown the last day, and that was the day I finally got to go home, because I was over it. I missed my kid, I missed my pets, I missed my bed, I missed the comfort. Oh, my nose itched. It's a freaking midodrine. I really wanted to be home. And it was getting really stressful being in the hospital. But now I am home, which is great. And hopefully I can keep up the vlogs. But if I do miss a vlog, then that is why I missed the vlog. Most likely, or there was like some event planned or something that weekend. But like, hospital stays. They're aggravating. The hospital that I stayed at this time actually wasn't that bad compared to some of the other visits that I had had. One of the nurses, though, she came in and she was like,
I'm here to start an IV.
and I'm just like, you can't do that. Like, I've got, you know, vascular EDS. My veins literally blow up. Like, you have to go through my port. And she was like,
Well, I don't know if we have someone who can access your port.
but I was like, a registered nurse can do it. We finally got a nurse in, and when he came in, he was like,
Like, oh my god, you've been here for 3 hours and your blood pressure is this low. Like, what's going on?
after he got there, everything kind of like got rolling, and they got me everything. And I didn't think I was going to be admitted, honestly. Most of the time when I have like blood pressure issues or something, I go up there kind of like as a precaution, because sometimes it is something bad, you know, like I might have fluid on my heart or something. But normally we can do like a CT scan or an x-ray, and then like I'm fine, and you know, I go home. I've had to like explain my illness a lot more to people as of lately, and that's been a new experience for me, because I feel like sometimes I give too much information and sometimes I don't give enough. But I guess it depends on who the person is that I'm giving the information to. But when people normally ask like, what's wrong with you, like I'm like, I have ehlers danlos syndrome, like it's a connective tissue disorder. And then the next question is normally like, okay, what does that mean? You know, and then I have to like go into detail, and then I feel like I sound like a page off of WebMD or something. Maybe I should just carry a card around with a WebMD link to vascular EDS. And then sorry, there's a ladybug, it distracted me. When I do explain it, I feel like people feel sorry for me, which I don't want. And that I've actually gotten a lot of like messages from my vlogs where people are like, you know, I'm so sorry going through this, like you're such a strong person, and and they mean like a lot to me. But like, I'm just a person, you know. This is something that like I didn't really expect my life to go in this direction, but it did. And now that I'm going through it, like it's not really that big of an issue for me anymore. Like, I understand that a lot of vascular EDS patients have complications that like cause them to die earlier than expected. It's something that I accept, and it's something that I don't harp on as much, because I mean, life expectancy is still pretty long for patients with vascular EDS, and I've got like all these years to like do things with. So whether that's in a hospital or anywhere else, and even the hospital stay, it really wasn't, I mean, yeah, I had a breakdown in the end because I really wanted to go home, but it wasn't that bad. Like, I feel like I still stayed pretty positive throughout the whole thing, and my family came and visited me, and my friends came and visited me, and I love you guys so much. That was super cheesy, but I do. I appreciate it. I appreciate like every single person who texted me and like just asked me if I was okay, or told me they were thinking about me, or told other people to tell me that they were thinking about me, because you know, that's how families work. And my mom watched my son for me a lot, and my best friend, she also watched my son for me a lot and helped with my dogs. And if I didn't have these people in my life, then I don't know where I would be at. I don't know how I would get through things like this. So I'm really lucky to have the family support and the friend support that I have, that a lot of people might not have, and they have to figure out different ways around what I'm dealing with. So yeah, that is, I guess this is the intro to a very boring vlog, but hopefully you guys enjoy the cool port footage. It was really interesting because this is the first time that I've had my port accessed like by like an IV that was something that was stayed in for a few days. I've had it accessed as far as like injectables and like them pulling stuff out of it, like blood.
Of course, what else would they pull out of it? I'm an alien, I guess, or a robot. Slowly turn into a robot. So I guess they could pull like oil out of it eventually, one day, maybe.
Anyway, they pull blood out of it and they give me things through it, and I've had like an IV like done in it for like a little bit, but not something that stayed in my port for 4 or 5 days long. And that was an experience, but I will say it was a lot easier. Every single time that labs came in, instead of them having to like poke me in the arm and like stick me 12 times because my veins explode and blow like every single time they poke me, it was, I'm shaking, it was like super easy for them to just access it and get what they needed out of it. So yay for my doctor suggesting that. And it's doing really well. Like, it's healing. Like, there's a scar now, but for the most part, like, it's just there. It's not really uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for a while, but now it's just kind of like a part of me. And I know that it's not permanent because they're gonna have to remove it and like put it on this side after so long, because it is like silicone. But yeah, that's it, I guess. Bye. Okay, so this is the first time that I have had my port accessed for like multiple days. And my primary doctor, which you will see in the next video, she actually doesn't use one of these kits that they have. They're not necessary, but hospitals carry them just because they have like really simple instructions and it's like really hard to like screw it up, you know what I mean? And the biggest risk with ports is infection. Of course, it's set up like a procedure because it is. You have to be very sterile with it, and they put a mask on me, and then they also have a mask that they have to wear. That way no germs get inside of the open area. As you can see from the port, there is a butterfly needle inserted into it, and it is L-shaped. It's a 20 gauge needle, so it is not very pleasant when they have to stick me. But they only have to stick me one time, usually. So that's a big plus with it. It's just basically this little silicone button that is implanted under my skin, and then there is a tube going all the way to my heart. So like I said earlier, they can pull blood out of it and they can inject fluids into it. The spacer in between the butterfly needle and the port, actually I was allergic to it or something. It's got this, it's soaked in something to try and prevent infections, but yeah, I guess that doesn't really help if you're allergic to it. The sticky stuff that she's pulling off my skin right now was like the worst thing out of like the entire procedure, just pulling this thing off my skin. I felt like she was ripping all of my skin off while she was doing it, and it was just, oh, it hurt so freaking bad. But she got all that pulled up and she's about to remove that, so, oh, that's gross. She's making sure she gets all of it up. It actually hurts pretty bad when they pull it out too. Since it isn't like this little silicone button, it literally like, it's like stuck in there. It's like trying to pull like a dart that you threw really hard at a cork board out. Like it just doesn't want to come out at all. And the hospital that I went to, ports aren't very common, so she's making sure that she like really read like what she was supposed to do before taking this thing out. It's just like intermediate, like no sound. I'm running out of things to talk about. Yeah, removing the port. Very, very interesting. I think right now she's getting all of the flushes done for it. When you take the port out, I don't know if I got it recorded. It might be. But you actually have to flush it with saline just to make sure it's clear. She's getting another one of those devil sticky pads ready. I forgot that they ended up putting another one of those on there. Those things suck. Alright, so she's grasping the butterfly right now. She's so nervous. Pull this thing out of my chest. I'm like, just pull it, it's okay. Just yank it out, it's gonna hurt. Like, it's fine. I promise it's fine. Just pull it out. It'll be okay. That thing in her hand, that's an alcohol swab. And I didn't know that there was going to be an infection underneath it when she did it. See, she's really got a pull on that thing. Oh God, I can just like feel the pain coming back to me. She's like, I don't think it's going to come out. I was like, yeah, it is. You gotta tug on it. She was so super careful. My nurse was amazing. She was so worried that she was gonna hurt me when she was taking this thing out. So worried that she was gonna hurt me. And there we go. You can see that little bubble underneath it. It like blistered from that little stopper that was in between. Like I said, that was supposed to prevent infection. I'm looking at it now because I was like, oh my God, that burns so bad. She's pointing at it. She's like, yeah, turns out you're allergic to that stopper. So we've actually got to figure out an alternative to put in between the IV and my port next time. It'll probably end up just being like gauze or something to prevent irritation, stuff like that. And then she's putting the devil wrap back on my skin, and it is all done. That is how you take out an IV out of a port. So fun stuff. I'm glad y'all got to live this experience with me. Alright, so right now she is sterilizing the area. Got a little bit late, she's already done it once, but she goes over it a few times and she uses different applicators just to make sure that everything's very sterile. As you can tell from my last video that she does not have a kit that she's using. She's just using very sterile equipment. She's very knowledgeable about how to access ports and de-access ports, keep them clean. She's taking off her glove right now because she's yelling at me because I wasn't doing something I was supposed to. Story of my life. But back to the video, and she has her gloves on again, and she has the needle ready. Again, it is a 20 gauge needle with an L hook in it, and she's going to stick it directly in the center of the port. It's going to go all the way through the silicone, and it's going to go to the bottom, and then she is going to flush it with saline. I think she actually flushes it with 2 tubes of saline just to make sure that we get anything. So right there you saw she got a blood withdrawal from it, so that means it's not clogged. I have to have my port accessed every 3 to 4 weeks, and if I don't have it accessed, then I can get a blood clot in it, which would not be good. It would mean that they would try to flush it out or dissolve it, but if they couldn't, then they would have to remove the port and replace it. My port is only going to be good for 2 to 5 years, and after that they will have to remove it, and then they will go on the other side and they will implant another port. This is not something that they feel like I'm going to be able to do without, and I will initially just have a port in my chest for the rest of my life. Yay me. Like I said, I'm slowly turning into Iron Man. Right now she's explaining to the students, because I did give her permission to have some med students in just to teach them how to access a port and do everything correctly and sanitary, and she's just letting them know what I'm doing. The freaking worst part about this is that when they access my port, you can smell the saline. It's like, the best way to describe it is it just smells like plastic up my nose, which is weird, I guess. That is it for this vlog. I am super sorry that it was kind of boring. I think I said that in previous vlogs, so maybe my life is just boring. But she's explaining right now how to de-access the port. You put fingers on both sides and you just pull it out. You can see it's got some, there we go. And that is it. She's gonna clean up the area and she's gonna bandage that all up for me, and I'm gonna be able to go home, and hopefully I won't have to have access for another 3 to 4 weeks unless something happens. So I hope y'all enjoyed everything, and I will see you when I post again, which hopefully is next week, but who knows. Every time I'm sick, you guys, listen to this. I'm a good vlogger. Okay. Hush, shh, I gotta be quiet. It's what is it? ASMR? Okay, ready? Oh. Do you hear it? That crunchy crust. I love this. Okay, Barry, I need your help. You gotta help me break the bread open. Oh my goodness. You guys. Okay, now I'm cutting this off because I'm gonna eat it.